Samsung is pulling its Galaxy Note 7 smartphones from the shelves, and for good reason. They're also apologizing to customers after dozens of reports of the devices exploding or catching fire. The recall is issued in 10 countries, including the United States, and the company says customers who bought them will be able to swap them for new smartphones in a couple of weeks. All of this coming just 2 weeks after the smartphone's debut. Let's talk about this with Lisa Garber, a cybersecurity attorney and an expert on this. Welcome to you. Thank you so much. Obviously, this all sounds very scary. You know, what happened here? Isn't there quality control? Aren't people testing these things out before they get into consumers' hands?
Thank you so much for having me today. And yes, this is the big question. How did this happen? And Samsung is known for having this quality-controlled vendor pipeline. Unfortunately, they said a couple different vendors could have been responsible for what they're calling a battery cell problem, and we don't know all of the details yet.
And, you know, this has happened before. Samsung has seen some problems, and not just Samsung, other companies as well, with exploding batteries.
Many companies have had problems, unfortunately, and we think back to earlier this year, earlier in 2016, with the hoverboard craze. And in those hoverboards were the same types of lithium-ion batteries, same type that is in the iPhone and in the Samsung Galaxy. And while these batteries are very popular for smaller devices, they're extremely powerful, they're very compact, but we have to remember the technology behind it. They produce so much energy, and inside they have extremely dangerous and flammable chemicals, and that can be an extreme problem, and that's what we're seeing with Samsung right now.
I mean, that's just crazy. I think about, you know, all the kids that I know that have phones, including my own. Well, my 3-year-old doesn't have a phone, but he will grab mine, run through the house, use it, and I think about something that dangerous being in his hands, and of course that's very scary. So what should customers do if, I mean, it's only been out for 2 weeks, right? So you can trade it in, but what could you do to keep yourself safe while it's still in your home?
Exactly. The thing is, Samsung has shipped 2.5 million of these phones. They were pushing this premium luxury phone. It retails between $800 and $1,000. And right now, customers have to be very careful. They've only seen 35 reported incidents with explosions or charring or burning of the phone when you plug it in to charge it. But for now, customers should be extremely cautious. Don't plug in your phone. Don't charge it. Don't use it. Power it off. Different vendors like AT&T and Verizon are offering customers the option to bring the phone back, and you can refund or exchange it. They want to keep their customers happy. They're saying, some of them are saying, we'll give you a new iPhone 7 when it comes out instead. That's why Samsung is trying to get ahead of the problem, and they're going to be offering a new program. They're going to be rolling out a refund or exchange program, but the details aren't clear yet. It'll likely come out within the next week.
Yeah, that is crazy. I mean, obviously Samsung has to protect its brand, competing, as you mentioned, with iPhone. I mean, a lot of people I know are very excited about the Apple iPhone 7 coming out. They've got to protect their reputation. They've got to protect customers. And just what you said about plugging in, I think about all the times that all of us plug our phones in before we go to bed at night. Think about that. You know, you go to sleep, you turn off the lights, you plug in your phone, and you've got the potential for something blowing up in your house. I mean, that is crazy. I mean, to try and recover from that, you're an attorney, you're an expert on this. You mentioned a couple of ways, but moving forward, I mean, how do you get the trust back for the consumers once they've got that in their mind?
Sure, and I've been holding my own phone when I have a couple different apps open and it overheats in your hand. It feels really warm. It's important to understand what the technology is behind it. We expect so much from these devices that we use every single day, whether it's a rechargeable car like Tesla, or it's a hoverboard, or it's a smartphone. But I think it's still important. I mean, I don't sleep with my phone right next to my head. I think you have to be cautious when you're using this kind of technology. We haven't seen many major issues like this. This is unprecedented, but it's just important to keep it in the back of your mind.
All right, Lisa Garber, thank you so much for being with us. We'll obviously keep a close eye on this one and see what Samsung does next to repair this.
Yes.
Appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.